Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to be cracking open this month's six sack from 6 cents. September is one of those fall turnover months, so I'm kind of excited to see what they snuck in the sack here. Get this box out of the way, and let's get this thing cracked open and see what we got. Here we'll start with hard baits. First up, we have a Swank 66. Okay, so this is definitely, the Swank has become one of my favorite square bills because it just goes through cover. Maybe if I can get it open. Maybe. There we go. The color on this guy here is 4K shad. It's half of an ounce and it dives 2 to 5 feet. Realistically, getting 5 feet out of this is asking a bit much, but there's that 4K shad paint job. We got that nice kind of pearl effect there on the front of it, nice bronze scales on the back, blue towards the back, just like a shad. Got our black spot and a beautiful pearl white belly. Let's top it all off. We've got those super sharp black nickel hooks, which we come to expect. Now, this is the part of the Swank that I really enjoy. The 66, the 77, either way, it doesn't really matter much to me. It's this sound. This thing is so ridiculously obnoxious. It's fantastic. Now, one thing I will say about the Swanks 66 and the 77, both baits excel in areas where you can kind of speed crank it and then get it hung up for a second and then pull it free. So if you're fishing like grassy areas, stuff like that, you can get away with it in lily pads, but it's not ideal. But ripping right along those grass edges, this thing's amazing. Even pond hopping, this thing's amazing. It floats pretty quickly, so you can kind of control how it dives. If you keep your rod tip up, you can hold it a little bit higher in the water column and still speed crank it. I really love this. And what makes that, I guess I should probably talk about the bill. What makes it unique for a square bill is this L-shaped bill. And it really does help a lot getting around cover and pulling through grass. Like, it doesn't get hung up. Even sticks and stuff like that. It does a really good job at just kind of muscling its way around and through most medium and light cover. I would even say some heavy cover, you can get right through it. I really like this bait. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, we've got the Movement 80 Wake. It's 5/8 of an ounce, 80 millimeters long, and it dives 1 to 4 feet. Now this is more of a super shallow crankbait, kind of a wake bait. It's not really a wake bait because it does dive down fairly deep, but it's not really like a diving lure because it doesn't really do that great of a job at staying down. Realistically, it stays about 1 foot to 2 foot down. It's got great sound to it. It's got a heavy single knock. Color, of course, is that 4K bluegill. This thing is pretty phenomenal. And it says on the bottom what it is, which you probably can't see. But for that 4K bluegill paint job, you got the blue at the front, going back to a deep emerald back. And then you go down into more of a olive color down the sides. Pick up a hue of pink with those lateral lines that break it up, and that wonderful orange belly at the front. And not to overlook it, but it's got super sharp black nickel treble hooks on it. These are the EWG style. I love these hooks. And also to note the difference between EWG and the regular. If you look at the hook points, see how they... Wow, it stuck in my hand. See how it kind of angles back towards the eye, back towards the shank, while this one doesn't? That's the difference. So with the EWG style treble hooks, it does a lot better job at pinning the fish than your traditional treble hook. Also note the 77 has EWG style treble hooks. The 66 does not. But this is a great bait. It's that great in between wanting a square bill and wanting to fish topwater. Because depending on how aggressively you fish this, you can keep this just barely subsurface pretty easily, and it has a really big wobble on it. The wobble on this is kind of ridiculous. This isn't a subtle bait. The sound is subtle. The action on it is not. We got another hard bait. Cool. So we got the Crush 50S and the S's were silent. And this one, I think, is threadfin shad. Is that it? Chrome set threadfin. Okay, I was close. So this bait's 3/8 of an ounce. It's a traditional style square bill, 50 millimeters or 60 millimeters long, and it dives 2 to 5 feet. Well, let's be honest, it's more like 3.5, 4 feet at max. This one does have the black nickel EWG style treble hooks, and of course it is silent. Black towards the front, blue down the back, chrome on the belly on the sides, getting down to a silver pearl on the bottom, and then you've got a nice yellow-hued lateral line. This thing is sweet. This is going to be a nice late season bait. Well, we're rapidly approaching that late season. So this, definitely throwable. Actually, all of these are super throwable right now. I think I feel one more hard bait, and then... Oh, we got something else in there. So, okay, next up we got the Munch 40, 2.5 inch guy here. Not a square bill. It's in Black Magic, which actually, oddly enough, is a surprisingly really, really good color. And this is very opposite of our threadfin, because this is all matte. Okay? This guy's going to dive down to, what is it, like 2 to 3 feet? I believe that. So this is kind of like in your same category of a subsurface bait. So realistically, you're about 18 to 24 inches, I would say, on a normal setup. Now, something a little bit more dedicated, like maybe like a BFS setup or something that's using a little bit lighter line, you're going to be able to get down deeper with it. But let's get back to this paint job. So it is all matte. There's nothing shiny here but the eyes and the hooks. It does have the black nickel EWG style treble hooks. It's got a nice little bill here. That is even matte also, versus like your normal reflective bill, matte. So you finishing out that black paint work on the sides here. You've got some, I'd call that like a robin's egg blue lines there down the side. And then you get to the belly. You got this nice chartreuse stripe with a little bit a hit of orange right there at the bill. Black Magic is a color I really like. And it doesn't matter if it's clear water or if it's stained water. As long as you are fishing your bait shallower than the water that you're in, all they see is the shadow. The color doesn't play a whole lot in, and I found, especially if you use darker colors like your black and blues, black, darker colors like that, it makes a more noticeable shadow that the bass can pick up on. And they don't really think about the color, I feel, when they see that shadow moving. But it does have that hit of chartreuse, which drives them wild. Let's give this thing a listen. Let's get a nice medium rattle to it. Multi-balls, but slightly muffled. I like it. I like this thing a lot. Plus that eye is just super cool looking. That's going to be definitely a go-to bait. Okay, let's get that other packaged bait before we get to the soft plastic. Okay, so we've got an axle swinging swim jig, 1/2 ounce. with the screw lock. I'll explain that here in a second. I really like the axle swinging jig. What color is this? I don't think I have this color. This is called Grass Smash. Okay, so what makes these axle swinging jigs cool? Oh, let's get that off there. Swoosh that skirt out a little bit there. It's a nice skirt. Some blue in there, some green pumpkin, a little bit lighter green pumpkin, hits a red. Super nice. So when it says screw lock, what's going on in here is it's got the screw lock here. Now some of you might be like, oh, okay, so what's the point of that? Show you. Let me grab... Here, I'll grab this random trailer. I don't know if the last thing in here is a trailer for it, so we'll see. We'll just use this Z-Man Billy Goat just to show. So you're going to take your trailer, whatever it may be. I wonder if they put something in there for a trailer. I'm going to feel really dumb if they did, but it felt like there's also one more thing in there. Okay. Why am I doing this the hardest way possible? Okay. So with Z-Man baits, I found if you're trying to get on like a screw lock or something like that, if you just take a hook, dive it in there just like that, it helps give you a starting hole to get stuff on screw locks. Screw, screw, screw. I also have noticed that Z-Man plastics also don't really like screw locks because of their resistance to being damaged. Wow, that's just not working for me right now. So we're going to swap that out. We're just going to grab one of these Yamamoto floppy frogs here. I know it's a swim jig, but just for educational purposes, because I think all of my swim baits are in my bag right now. So you're just going to take it, screw it on there. Yeah, that Yamamoto screws right on there. Some guys like to screw it all the way down, some guys don't. It's up to you. Okay, so you get your bait on there however you like it, and then pull it up and see where you want to go in. I want to go in right about there. Pull it up to expose that hook, and there you go. It's all rigged. See? Okay, so the cool thing about this is, so when a fish comes and bites down on it and you set the hook, wherever it goes, it helps free up that motion. So it's easier to set the hook and bury it in the fish's mouth versus setting the hook and possibly still losing it on the hook set, whatever. It increases hookup ratio. I really like these swim jigs versus traditional ones. Let's get this flapper frog off here now that I've tangled it all up in the skirt. Alright. Oop. Super sharp hook. What is that, a 5/0? 6/0. So it's got a massive 6/0 hook, so anything you want to put on it, it's a 1/2 ounce. So really, any swim bait, anything you want, throw it right on there. You're good to go. Alright, I felt another package in here besides the soft plastics. Here we go. So we got some wacky hooks, size number 1. Crack these out. Oop. Little bitty guy. Super sharp, lighter wire than everything else we've opened, but that's because of the way that you normally fish this. So my guess is we've got some sort of, oh, I can feel it. It's a stick bait. We got the Cloud 6.3, and it's the exclusive color called Gill Dust. So this isn't your like a 5-inch guy. This isn't a 4-inch guy. This is the big 6.3, and this color is pretty cool. It's like a green pumpkin with purple and kind of a copper color mixed in with it, which to be used with our wacky rig here. Just take it. You can hook it farther forward, you can hook it towards the back, or you can hook it right in the middle. Just like that. Weightless. Being 6 inches long, it's got quite a bit of heft to it. Like the 6th Sense baits, they're pretty hefty. That color's so cool though. And they've got a lot of salt in them. Like, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but there's, maybe big salt in these. A lot like the Yamamoto baits. Now, I'm not going to say the Clout is as good as the Senko, but I use them both. As for this month's sack, I'm really, really happy with it. I can't really be upset with anything going on here. Everything here, super solid. I'm going to throw all of that. Probably the things that I'm most excited about are the 66 and that Munch 40 and that Black Magic and that, what was that, the Threadfin Shad, was it? No, it wasn't. 4K Shad. These two I'm most excited about. But that's not saying that I'm not happy about either one of these, which I am. The swim jig, this color, this must be a new drop color, or it's one that was sold out when I ordered a bunch of my Axel jigs, but I'm super excited about this. I've got a whole pile of trailers I'd like to throw on this that are, unfortunately, in my bag. All geared up and ready to go. But yeah, Axel swinging jig, super solid bait. Clout, this color, it's the exclusive color. You can only get this in the 6 sack this month. I'm excited about this. 6.3. I really feel like I don't have any clouts in a 6.3. Now that I think about it, I almost want to say all the ones I have are 5 inches. I could be wrong. But I'm just kind of thinking out loud. Anyway, temperatures are falling. That thermocline is getting ready to do that fall switchover where it inverts the water columns. Your oxygenated water is about to fall to the bottom. So, and we're getting ready for winter. So the fish, they're breaking up. They're kind of going more offshore. They're moving around a lot. Now is a great time to just kind of go everywhere and FAFO, fish around and find out, you know. Terrific time to do that. Rocky bluffs, drop-offs, cliffs. I'm still catching them up super shallow. You can fish fast, you can fish slow. I'm catching them on jerk baits. I'm catching them on cranks. Everything's working. Everything is working great right now. Fall, a lot of people are like, oh, those dog days of summer into fall, and fall's so miserable. You can fish topwater right now. Now, everything is not as effective as it is typically during like the prime times of the season in the spring, in the summer, whatever. However, you can junk fish everywhere all day and catch fish. You're not going to catch maybe the quantity that you would being able to just junk fish whatever you want, anywhere you want. However, you have that option that you can just basically throw anything you want. I think this last weekend, the only thing I did not catch something on, and that's because I didn't really throw it, was big swim baits. I didn't catch a fish on the glide. But everything else, chatterbaits, cranks, jerkbaits, everything. Everything is on the table. And I like fall fishing. Maybe not as much as spring, that pre-spawn and spawn and post-spawn. But I like fall. You can still throw topwater now. You can throw weight baits right now. You can throw absolutely anything you want. But with these temperatures falling, guys, you got to keep in mind, water temperatures are falling, air temperatures are falling. That can be a kind of a nasty situation. So kind of just stay safe out there like that. Um, Stay hydrated. Watch out for the bugs. I don't know about you guys, but the flies and mosquitoes are so bad right now. It's kind of ridiculous. So, all right, well, take care. I'm gonna let you guys go. Peace.